Meanwhile, the U.S. House of Representatives voted to approve a plan by U.S. President Obama to train and arm the moderate Syrian rebels. The Islamic State terror group has released another video. Observers say it appears to be in response to President Obama's speech when he said the U.S. objective in expanded airstrikes will be to degrade and ultimately destroy IS. Our Sean Callebs has been following the story and is here with more. And Sean, you and I talked about this earlier. Yep. It's amazing how just 30,000 fighters have managed to have the entire world on edge.
And let alone basically a lot of control over two countries. Certainly getting a lot of attention of people around the world. And today the new video was released showing just how slick, how well produced it was. And indeed, this has simply caught a lot of U.S. law officials off balance. And a lot of them say they're using terms like this is a new era in the fight against global terrorism. And you get a pretty good idea once you see this video.
It screams at you with all the drama and hype usually reserved for a Hollywood movie trailer. But this isn't make-believe, and it's not an effort to lure viewers to the big screen. Rather, attract detached Muslims willing to wage war for the Islamic State. The video has been released to combat President Obama's latest verbal assault on the terrorist group. And there's no denying the effective use of social media by IS has Washington's attention.
It's no longer necessary to actually meet somebody in Al-Qaeda to get training and inspiration to conduct a terrorist attack here in the United States. Someone can do it in their pajamas in their basement.
FBI Director James Comey says the internet is an effective recruiting tool that the Islamic State embraces.
These are the homegrown violent extremists that we worry about, who can get all the poison they need and the training they need to kill Americans, and in a way that's very hard for us to spot.
It's that money that helps the Islamic State produce slick videos, threaten enemies, and keep replenishing its killing machine with new fighters. Islamists have long used social media effectively. For example, Al-Qaeda publishes a magazine online. It blatantly spells out car bomb field data, meaning the most effective way to inflict damage and terror. In the United Kingdom, it says football stadiums are easy targets. In France, it says go after the 82 million tourists that visit annually. And in the United States, it is much more blunt, saying go after the high-value targets in the Washington suburbs of Arlington and Alexandria, Virginia, or the crowded restaurants and bars along M Street in the U.S. Capitol. ISIL has the attention of the world with its savage violence. But U.S. officials say the terror threat from Islamists is high on many levels.
ISIL is obviously the most prominent terrorist organization on the world stage right now. It's our focus, but from my homeland security perspective, and I'm sure my colleagues share this, we have to stay focused on a range of terrorist threats.
And everybody from the head of Homeland Security to the FBI to the President of the United States have been asked the same question over and over. Is there a credible threat, possibility of an attack on U.S. soil? To a person, they've always said, no, there is no credible threat. However, New York officials, the top law enforcement officials in New York City today saying he is on the lookout, that the concern is that ISIS is now putting out this warning, Asya, if you will, to get a lone wolf to go into Times Square. And you can imagine the kind of horror that would inflict.
And how do they release these videos? Is it through Twitter? Is it through Facebook?
They use Twitter. They use YouTube a lot. And a lot of people want to know, why do we have to see those? Why can't YouTube shut those down? And it's a good question, because Twitter does not allow Twitter users to pass those vulgar videos back and forth. But YouTube, has this feeling that they don't want to restrict what people put up there. And so the message is getting out. It's one of revulsion. It's one of savagery. And I think to a large degree, it's having the opposite effect, at least in terms of the U.S. Standing up and continuing airstrikes and moving toward more military action.
All right. Thank you so much, Sean Callebs.